Hello and welcome. This is probably going to be my first totally dedicated video of the season to Christmas. We're in November, we're headed towards Thanksgiving, and before we know it,
Hello and welcome.
I did it again.
This is probably going
Volume off. There. So before we know it, it's going to be Christmas, and I am doing a collaboration, Terry's Christmas, or is it Terry's Crafty Christmas 2025, something like that. I'll learn it by the time we get there, but my first video is due December 16th, and then I think I have a second one on December 27th. Let's see. No, I don't have the graphic of the calendar. But anyways, this is what it's going to be, and I've joined that this year. So I'm getting Ephemera ready. I printed out some of the kit from Ink and Page, because that's one that I've chose to use. I'm working on the Ephemera right now, and I like to be prepared. If anybody knows me, they know that about me already. So I'm just gonna play. Now, disclaimer, I may do 2 videos today if I feel like it, or I may do a 2-hour video. So if you're watching the playback, feel free to scroll through and this way, like, say if some people come in during the first hour and want to say hi, that'll be good. But then say some people don't notice that I'm doing a live stream until the second hour, then they've got the opportunity to say hi as well. Not saying anybody would like to, but you never know. Now, this one, I feel confident that it's done. It's significantly grunged up, but decorative for a Christmas charm, I'm thinking is what I would call this. These are called tags, but I'm thinking charms, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do on the back yet. I may coffee dye this, so, because I don't like white. Or I may just take, whoops, I'm dumping things on the floor. I may just take this and go like that. And then that could be written on. I like that. I'm just gonna call this one done. Let's go ahead and do the same thing to this one. This one will be easier because I don't have the tag topper. I love doing ink to paper. And what's fun about this session of crafting is I'm using some Stampin' Up! Products, if not Stampin' Up! Ideas. The cardstock that I'm using is, and these are old names, so I don't know if Stampin' Up! Has changed them, but this would be Whisper White cardstock that I cut this off. Now the shapes that I got are from Cricut. I got the shapes strictly off of Cricut. And then this foil paper is from Stampin' Up, and I think this is gold foil paper, but I think it has another name to it because the foil itself is kind of has lines in it before I did ink to paper with the archival ink. In the olden days I would use StazOn, but my StazOn is tucked away, so I use the Ranger archival ink for this effect, this distressed effect on foil. I also, some of these I folded them and put creases in, and I used my sandpaper disc and did some distressing that way. Ow. And then this is from the Ink and Paper Ephemera. This ink is from the pumpkin pie because I actually wanted to use crushed curry because I was thinking I saw crushed curry, but that's actually pumpkin pie. And these are Stampin' Up colors that I'm mentioning. So that one's pretty much done. It just needs a dangle. What do we got? Let's pull out the textile bin. See what we'll come up with. Perfect. Let's see. Hello and welcome, Lucretia. So, oops, I'm highlighting your comment. Okay. Thanks for popping in to sit in the skybox. I appreciate you. There. I don't know if that's too much for that small of a, but now the thing is I've got to remember that I want these to be charms. Well, maybe not these. I have to think about it. Okay, that one is done. Don't need that ink spot. My actual charms, let's see. I've got some little plastic envelopes on order because I'm going to need them to keep track of this different ephemera. So Ink and Page does this little thing on her, well, she did it on this. And so I'm going to use these to keep track of what kit it is that I got most of this ephemera from. Like I said, these are just cutouts from Cricut. Alrighty, where am I at next? That's trash. I think I want these pieces here. I want this piece here. putting ephemera together is a huge process. So it's nice to do pre-made ephemera ahead of time. I'm just trying to look at something here. One moment, please. That's not what I'm looking for. I do want to print that out though. File, print. My printer goes really slow, so I like to have things in the works. Okay, I was looking for the directions of how to put this together. This is a pocket tag, so I need these words. And I don't really know what the digital artist's idea of putting all this together was, but I'm just looking at which pieces I need. And then I will come up with a plan for how to put this together. I want this piece. And I want this piece. I usually do get this messy when I'm working on a collaboration. So much fun. And I am using so far, sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Just a minute, I gotta grab the box so I can say it correctly. Well, so yeah, I thought I had boxes over. I did. They were just underneath a bunch of cases. Okay, so far I'm using the Canon matte photo paper. It is 45 pounds, and I really enjoy using this 170 GM. Okay. Go. Let's trim these off a bit more. There, that's what I wanted. So I hope everybody's doing good this Sunday. I am still disorientated from traveling. It's 11:44 here, but my body doesn't know if it's morning or afternoon. And I'm like, what meal should I have? Where am I at? What am I doing? For a while I get up earlier. Well, of course the time change didn't help either. So traveling across time zones, and actually because the time changed, now I'm acclimated to the time zone that I'm normally in when I'm in Idaho. So that'll help with business, because it's really hard. For a bit there I had a huge, because my clients are more like Central and Eastern time. So I have to really be conscious of when I'm scheduling appointments and that sort of thing. I need one more piece. Where is it? This. So I feel a bit discombobulated. And I think this is going to go on top of here, and then this is going to go on top of here, and then these will be ephemera pieces. But where is this going to go? I think this is going to be an ephemera piece, and then this can go right there. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. And before I do all of that, I actually want to back this and make it more sturdy. To do that, I'm going to grab some vanilla cardstock. I used my Cricut to cut all this ephemera out, and my Cricut mat leaves sticky. Maybe if I change the mat out, that will help. I just love my Joy Cricut. It really is a good fit for me. The size is perfect for my craft space, and it's easy to use. And I purchased the Cricut subscription, so that opens up more opportunities for me. And I think it makes it easier to remove backgrounds from graphics when I go to cut them. So the Cricut Joy is what I use, Cricut Joy Extra. And the extra part is it allows you to use almost a full-size mat. So this is a 8.5 by 12 size mat, so I can cut on 8.5 by 11 papers like I like to do. So the whole digital fits on the mat. This one I'm just going to cut out. See if I can get this to a manageable size. Hi Carrie, welcome. Did you go, let's see now, I can't remember how the flea market works. Is it like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but it starts on the first day of the month or something like that? How does that work? I forget. I went with my sister, I think the day after Thanksgiving last year. And you're in Texas for the whole weekend, right? Oh, you're on your way back, so you guys must be driving. I was watching people's lives on the way here. Just a great way to pass the time. I am not, you know, people say, oh, you're so lucky because you get to travel. Traveling for me is a way to get from point A to point B. And other than that, I could do without it. I mean, I don't even like to travel to go to the grocery store. I'm like, this is taking my time. I could be home crafting. My honey does all the driving. When we moved into a trailer full time, we downsized to one vehicle, and I sold my vehicle, and I hardly ever drive. Hardly ever. I think I'm down to one time a year. So I don't, you know, get in the truck and say, oh, I should drive, because I'm a huge believer that if you're not doing something regularly, then you're not as good at it. Like, some things we lose our skills for, and driving is an important thing to be on top of your skills. So for that reason, I don't drive. And it's fine, we only have one vehicle, so when we go somewhere, it's usually both of us going there anyway, so my husband's not the type who likes to sit in the passenger seat. Let's see, I like the thrift stores in Canton better than the big flea market. Did you do any little videos or anything for the Canton thrift stores? And I'm gonna have to see if I can get your list from you, because I expect to be back in that area in 2026 around this time, maybe for around Thanksgiving or Christmas. So do I want that to be like here and put this like this? It was nice to see your family in the video. It's even fun to see significant others. I think it is. And then this, dang, I was hoping you were gonna. And then this is gonna go here. Yes, I think that's what I want. How about a little sneak peek, not sneak peek, but a sneak say about some of your favorite items that you got at the thrift stores? Inquiring minds want to know. Or nosy people want to know. Take your pick. Mine is so funny. I'll go, hey honey, you want to come back here and craft with me? And he'll go, I just crafted. And it was because, what did he do the last time? He held something while I cut it, or something like that. And that's his idea. Oh, yeah. That's his idea of crafting, is to hold something while I cut it. Yeah, my ideal books. Oh wow. I don't think I've ever found an ideal book with a hardcover. My ideal magazines that I found, and I didn't realize what a catch that was. So I didn't stock up on them. But it was one of the first things that I bought when I was thrifting and doing junk journals. Anyways, I found those in Idaho at the antique mall in Boise on the corner of Overland and Franklin. I don't know if anybody would happen to watch this video and ever be in that area, but that mall used to be really fun. The last time I was in it wasn't all that great, but it might be because I might have found things but just wasn't interested in them because I already have plenty of stuff. Sorry, I'm gonna have to drink some water so I don't hack. My throat just gets so dry talking. Hi, Christine. Welcome. Oh, can I bring that over? Oh, that's going to bug me. Little point there. Phew. The little point was extending over. That was really going to bug me. Okay. Let's get the lid on here. Now, that part is done. So, these are going to be ephemera. Oh, that is neat. I forget what I was wondering if I had the other day. A certificate of something. And it might have been your fault that I was wondering if I had one. Because I was thinking, oh, that would be a fun thing. So I'm just leaning over here trying to figure out what I want to back this with. I was thinking, oh, that would be a fun thing to put in a pocket. I have yearbooks. I don't think that's going to be long enough. Nope, it's not long enough. Well, it'll be long enough for this one. I have yearbook pages and I have stamp pages, and I know this because I've been thinking about what items I want to use for one of my Christmas journals, because I love a variety of pages. My go-to pages are and even if it wasn't your fault, I'm blaming you, Carrie, because you're handy to put the blame on. So let's see. My go-to pages for journals are my architecture book pages, music pages, straw paper, old book pages, children's pages, children book pages, tea dye pages, especially ones that I buy special, like this. I love this. Maybe a vellum page, especially if it's printed on. Maybe mulberry page. It's so good when we're in agreement, Carrie. And now I know you have dark hair, Carrie. It is so funny how when you've listened to somebody talk, and I don't know how long I've been listening to you talk. I don't think it's been a year yet. But I never pictured you with dark hair. And I kept looking at you and go, nope, it's not supposed to have dark hair. That's what I imagined. Of course, April, when I saw her interview with Hazel, I pictured her more like her, her intro pictures. They show her with like kind of shoulder length hair and maybe a little light brown, a little red, just, I wouldn't say auburn, but maybe a little bit blonde. A whole assortment of colors is one of the pictures that I saw that made me think that's what she looked like. But when I saw her on the interview, well, for one thing, she had her hair up, so to me that suggested that it was longer than what I imagined. And I think I saw the color, and the color was more, not really dark, but maybe darkish brown, something like that. So I was like, nope, that's not what she's supposed to look like. Hello, Dorothea. Thanks for joining us. Good to see ya. Now, I said at the beginning of this video that I may do 2 separate videos today, or I may do like a 2-hour. Because Beth does 2 hours, and she seems to get away with it. So I may try to get away with it. Unless people rebel and say, Theresa, get the heck off of the live stream. We're tired of seeing you. Okay, there's that. Where's my circle? And I have to figure out what size circle this is. Let's start with 1 3/4. I'm pretty sure that's too big. I even did a pronunciation guide for Dorothea's name, and I gave up on trying to find it every time she came into the chat because she visits frequently. Thank you for that. Oh, look at that. That's exactly the right size. Hot dog. Anyways, did you say something bad, Carrie, because your message got redirected? Just kidding. I know you didn't say anything bad. I just have a weird, warped sense of humor. Or maybe no humor at all. Maybe that's what the problem is. So anyways, half the time I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly or not, and that's really important to me, Dorothea, but it's more important to me to talk to you and say hi and try to use your name. Recognize you. I know, that's why I was saying that. You can be trusted about as far as you can be thrown. Okay, now what are we going to put on the back of this one? Let's just put a little bit of... Hi, Tony. Welcome. I'm back in Arizona, Tony. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you before I left, Tony, but I am still thinking in the back of my mind of doing a craft retreat in Cascade. And I'm trying to come up with ideas that are great for people who are on fixed income. And if they don't have a trailer, I'm going to find locations for them to stay possibly. I've got all these plans for how I'm going to try and make this come together. So, because I think it would be great because I know you drive, so if you can drive, that 2 hours and get there, then hopefully we can manage some accommodations. Food's an easy thing. I know. You're well known for that, Carrie, causing chaos. There you go, witnessing my high-tech measuring skills. I certainly am, yes. Now that November has rolled around, I can officially start on... Where did I put my cutter? It was here a minute ago. I can officially start on Christmas stuff because I've got a collaboration in December, and my videos are, I think, the 16th and the 27th. So this, I think, is pretty good timing to get busy. I saw a cute little autumn ephemera folio that Ink and Page put together. I might do an autumn thing in the meantime too. I also want to do a Roaring 20s journal because that's what the Junk Journal Madness collaboration is this month. And I did start on a Roaring 20s digital kit using Canva. I did not want to buy a kit. I did not want to invest in a kit for Roaring 20s because, wow, you're really cruising right along, Carrie. But I didn't want to invest in a Roaring 20s because that's not a theme that I normally get into. So let's put a little hole here. Can't wait to get my little envelopes so I can organize all this stuff. Oh, I mentioned organization, so that means I'm going to have to share some ideas because that's what I do. I feel like that's not in the middle. Not bad. How'd I do? This is 2 inches, a little over 2 inches. Not bad. It's a little too far over that side. Okay, and then I was thinking that I wanted to do this. What was I saying? So I talked about how I want to do a retreat. August, by the way, that's when I want to do it. It's August of 2026. So Tony, if you think you might in any way, shape, or form be interested in that, put that tentatively on your calendar. Now, I think that Emily might join us, and she's back east a bit, but she sounded all gun-ho for that. And then I'm hoping that Carrie is going to do another trip to Texas next year around this time, and it would be fun to get to meet her. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that the way it is. Ooh, I was just wondering if this is too big to do that. I already backed it, but that doesn't matter. I think that would be fun to put that there. I just think that would be fun. Yippers, and we need some cheesecloth. Seems like there was something else I was talking about. I can't design and talk at the same time. Craft retreat, Texas. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it's all tentative, but you know, as soon as you know something, it's good to tell people so that if things do come together, you know, it might help facilitate them to join. But I was listening to some gals that are back kind of maybe not back east, but more central time zone area, and I was wondering if they might even hop in their car and make a jaunt like that, because Cascade's a beautiful place, isn't it, Tony? The lake is just awesome. Carrie, you're a gem. Oh my gosh, you're a gem. Yes, because I was going to talk about those pockets that I bought that you recommended that fit in an organizer, like a hi, oh goodness, Denise. My brain tried to shut down on me for a minute. But anyways, you talked about those envelopes that you use in an organizer, and I bought them and I love them. But now I'm buying some smaller ones because I'm always changing things around. And the more I change it around, because you know, you got to live in your space a little bit before you, shoot! Oh, I'm glad I didn't say a bad word, but I almost did. That was trauma, because I worked so hard to put that nice piece together. But we know that that's a happy accident, don't we? Because for one thing, Theresa loves grunge. So first of all, we'll grunge it this way. But at the moment when it was happening, I was like, oh my gosh. So, almost said another S word other than shoot. But I restrained myself and I behaved. And in the end, it's just a happy accident and it's going to be fine. And as soon as I fix this, I'm going to talk more about what I've decided to do. There we go. Throw some aged tape on there. Call it good. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Put that there. And we're going to put some glue on here. Now, if I would have designed that a little bit better, I would have put an eyelet right there for fun. I might still put an eyelet right there if I can get the thing in there. But I'm going to put it to the side and think about that. Look at this mess I have. My little plastic tub out that's underneath here. And put all this stuff in here. It's starting to get on my OCD nerves. And that's a lot of work, Denise. If folks have never set up for a craft fair, they don't realize how much work that is. I've done it a few times, and thank goodness my husband has always been available to help me, because it is a lot of work. Okay, now move that to the side. Put the lid on so that doesn't dry out. Okay, bye Tony. What you having for lunch? I need to know what you're having for lunch first, because now you're making me hungry and I need ideas. Okay, what was I gonna grab? I was gonna grab this. Okay, so I edited this ephemera book. This is my big book of ephemera, and I put some of those envelopes in here instead of, I used to have like Stampin' Up! Craft paper. And it was tearing and looking rough and stuff. And so then I had the brilliant idea to put some of these envelopes that Carrie suggested. And the thing that's so nice about these envelopes is they have so many different holes in them, so they adjust to whatever binding system is that you want to use them for. So some of them are in here. Ooh, hamburger pie. That sounds yummy. And then when I first bought the envelopes, because Carrie showed them, and so I just had to have them after she showed them, I bought this big binder because it zips and it has this strap on it. Two things that make him work really well with my craft space, because I take this and I hang it on the side of one of my trolleys, and then because it zips, nothing falls out. And so then this has some of my digital kit ephemera. Exactly, that is probably my favorite thing about it, Carrie, is, oh, your comment hasn't come up. Anyways, so I bought some more of these to put my Christmas ephemera in, because I don't like to, like, what I want to say. I don't like to put it in a unique storage situation like this for journals that I'm working on. I hope I explained that correctly. I'm gonna elaborate a bit here. Just a second. Let me hang this up. This thing is heavy though. I've calmed myself a couple of times with it. So when I'm in the process of working on something, then I like to use these baskets. So this is my lovely Somerset magazine that Carrie sent to me. This is my work in progress basket, but I need to buy another basket so that I can put my Christmas stuff in it. And all this stuff will be in one of those little envelopes. And I like these big baskets because then the 8.5 by 11 sheets will fit in there. So I already have a basket for my nurse kit. Just moving some stuff around behind me. And this is how I like my stuff that is about to happen, like in a month or 2 months. This has been hanging out for about 4 months, but so I have some charms in here, again, because of Carrie. It's the whole reason why I bought these charms. And then I have some of my cut up ephemera. So this is what I want to do for this ephemera, is the pieces to put it in what I'm going to call an ephemera envelope or pouch, ephemera pouch. And then I've got some prescriptions, vintage prescriptions that I purchased from Mickey, and I don't remember the name of her Facebook group. I've got some digitals all printed out and ready from Jez's for Najezra Creates. I can never say her real name, so just call her Jez. And then I have pages from this book that I bought off of eBay, Psychiatric Nursing, and some more pages that are folded and ready. And I've got some notes here. Nurse journal. Some ideas are an ID card oddity. Make ID cards for inmates, and I call them inmates, but they're actually called patients. Oh, and I found this little pin in Boise at the Expo Center. There was a vintage flea market there last month, so I got that pin there, and I only had to pay $2 for it, so that was a good buy. But that's vintage. So this is my fodder gathering organization, and I need another one for my Christmas. Now on top of that, I have I showed this yesterday, I have my ephemera book for Christmas. So this started off as a December daily, and it was a Tracy Fox December Daily Christmas Advent 2023, and I did that, and now it's a Christmas idea book / ephemera holder. Like here, it has some notes in here. Christmas 2023 was Yuma, Arizona. Christmas 2024 was Onalaska, Texas. Then 2025 is going to be Yuma, Arizona, and then 2026 is going to be maybe Italy, Texas, Round Rock, something like that. So here's a bunch of ephemera that I created yesterday, and then there's ephemera from when I did the Tracy Fox, but the only thing is I won't be using any of this ephemera for the collaboration because I'm only using ephemera from the kits or original ephemera. So this is all original ephemera. This is from items that my sister sent me in a Happy Mail that she got from probably Canton or some flea market type deal there she's in Italy, Texas. So I used a bunch of different stuff from what she sent me and made some tags. This is going to be a side tuck, and got some journal cards, and this is all original ephemera. And then this stuff is from the kit, one of the kits that I'm using. So this is ink and page, and one of the things that she had that I cut out on my Cricut was she called this scrap ephemera, Oh, Jiminy Christmas. I didn't take that comment down. You guys are probably reading that comment from Carrie going, okay, we've read it. When are you going to bring it down? Well, when it catches my attention is when I'll do it, and I did it. But anyways, so she called this scrap ephemera, and I cut these out on my Cricut, and so I printed it and cut it one way, and then I processed it again, what is that word? Mirrored, so that I could take the second cut and I could back it so that it's perfect. Because, you know, if you just print and cut the same image, they won't fit. I don't know how to say that, obviously, but these I'm definitely thinking of as charms. I have no idea what that is. I think it's a blueberry, but that blueberry is going that way, and that blueberry, oh, that's a log. That's a Yule log. Okay, it goes that way. But it sure is pretty. I love that little image. So I did all these as charms. So they'll all have a little hole in them, and a jump ring, and a ball pin probably is what I'm thinking. So those are ready to think about and use more. And now I'm going to put these in here. The stuff that still needs to be worked will go in the ephemera pouch, and this stuff will probably go in my ephemera book. And I tell you, I'm sorry if this is boring to some people, but the organization part of this stuff is half the fun for me. Sometimes even more than half the fun, because sometimes I don't have any inspiration, and maybe I'm feeling tired or whatever, because I start feeling tired at about 5 o'clock sometimes, and I don't even get up that early. I am not an early bird, and I'm not going to tell you how late I usually sleep, but I got into a bad habit of sleeping in later because I have insomnia sometimes. And when I'm traveling, I don't feel like I have insomnia as much. I feel like I sleep better. And my husband always says that he thinks it's strange that he sleeps better at truck stops, because we've got this down to a science now. We didn't spend one penny on overnight lodging on our way here. And last time when we went to Idaho from here, we didn't spend one penny then. We go to truck stops and we boondock. So if you don't know what boondocking is, we carry water in the water tank, the clean water tank. Let's see, what do they call it? They call it the yucky water is the black tank, and the good water is clean water. What is that? It's not the white tank. Oh well, my brain won't remember what it's called. And then we have a generator, an onboard generator, so all we have to do is push a button and it goes on, and that allows us to have air conditioning, and it also allows me to use my devices so that I can get some work done while we're traveling. So that's fun. And we always think we're gonna, take food that is gonna work for us to eat along the way. But my husband is usually so tired after driving that I always tell him, oh, just go to McDonald's and get me a fish sandwich or something like that. I don't want him to have to worry about cooking when he's been driving all day. Because we leave early usually when we're traveling, and for a while you end up with sun in your eyes, and then you get to these roadways that are super bumpy, and that just takes a lot of energy. Now that I'm back in Yuma, you guys are going to be hearing the chickens in the background probably. We're in a different spot this year, so that's going to be great, where I don't have to breathe in so much dust, because we were in a dirt spot last year, because we were going to stay in Texas for the whole season last year, but with all I didn't like the spot that I chose. Onalaska the lake is beautiful, but for a long-term stay, it's not a good location for me. And there were so many tornadoes, and I'm from Ohio, so tornadoes don't really bother me per se, but they don't scare me, I guess I should say. I don't freak out about them. But being in a mobile home, in a trailer, it is of more concern, because I don't have a bathtub or a cellar to get into. And when you're unfamiliar with the territory, you know, it would say, oh, the tornado is touching down in the DFW area, or Round Rock, or I forget what the one was that was. I had to keep Googling all these spots and put in Google Onalaska to blah blah blah, and then I go, oh my gosh, that's like 20 miles from me, and I don't know which way the tornado's heading. You know, I'm terrible at directions. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible at directions. So if you tell me to turn right, I'm probably going to turn left. And that's just the way I've been all my life. It's one of those things that my brain has never been very good at thinking through. That's why I have a husband. So, anyways, I finally said to my husband, will you call Yuma and see if they have a spot? And they did, and we went back to Yuma and spent like 3 months in Yuma and 3 months in Texas, or 2 months in Texas and 4 months in Yuma, something like that. I'm wishing my sister would put, because my brother-in-law and I were talking about this when I was there last year, about I think he said he had been considering putting sewer in back by his shop. They have a little plot of property there. I don't know if it's 5 acres or what it is, but it's a nice little spot. And I'm trying to think. I can't do it that way because I need to see where I'm going to. Okay. Challenges. Anyways, I'm wishing they would put sewer in so that they'd have RV hookups. Yeah, I have not, I just realized I have not really, I mean, I've probably seen you and stuff, but I have not talked to you for over a year because we went through Louisiana at the end of October last year because we were coming from back east to Texas, so we drove through Louisiana to get to Onalaska. So I wish that I would have known you then, Carrie, so that I could have said, hey, let's go for coffee. Come hang out with me in my trailer and we'll do a video and I'll interview you. I did do that with Vanessa in Tennessee. That was fun. Okay, now. And I did it with Tony in Boise. We met at Sherry's in Boise. And if you look at my, so hers wasn't so much an interview, maybe, I don't remember now. But when she walked into Sherry's, I had the camera on. It's a date, Carrie. So, and I did it with Juanette in Arizona. She had a retreat last year, and I took pictures. I did a video. So I've got Vanessa, Juanette, and Tony on my live streams. So I need more. Because it's fun to meet people. Well, and I was wanting to talk Denise into coming to Cascade in August in Idaho and be part of a craft retreat there and get Sandra to come. Because I was looking at the map and I figured that wouldn't be too bad of a drive. So there's a park in the Donley area, which is close to Cascade, so I just say Cascade. And it's like a senior citizen type park. Of course, anybody can go there, but there's a lot of seniors that live there through the summertime, and it's very, very affordable. And I have been thinking it through and making plans so that I can make it affordable for people who are on fixed incomes. And you know, because these craft retreats, they start usually at $600. Some of them are more expensive than that. And while I could afford something like that, I don't want to, because it's like 2 or 3 days, and it's just not a good use of my money. So I would rather, and some people can't afford that, and so I would rather invest the money in craft supplies or helping somebody else to be able to come to a retreat. So I think I would have to put out $100 for the reservation. I decided I would do it in August because it's cooler in the mountains and you've got the lake there and it's just beautiful. And then the next thing I need to do is find out if there's any cabins in the area. Hi Sandra, were your ears burning? Because I've been talking about you and Denise. So anyways, if somebody doesn't have a trailer, because if they have a trailer, all they have to do is pay for gas. But if they don't have a trailer, then I was going to look and see how much cabins would cost if they have any. I know they've got cabins in McCall and in Cascade, but I need to see how much cabins would cost. And in McCall, I remember it being something like $100 a night, maybe. So then my other idea, yeah, and I thought about it too because it was in Utah and I was in Idaho at the time, and that's like a 10-hour trip. I mean, I'd wake up early up in the morning and travel out there and it'd be easy peasy. But like I said, these things start at like $600 and I just can't justify that being a good use of my funds. I don't know if hers was 600 or not, but I mean, it's like yeah, it's just not my thing to spend that much money on a, I mean, if I was doing a vacation for me and my husband, that, and it was like 3 days, that would be a good use of that money. Okay, what am I doing here? Okay, this is just going to be 2 corner pockets and an envelope. So that is done. But then my other thought was to see if maybe I could do like a Ko-fi fund for people who can afford the gas mileage but they can't afford anything else, and so for sponsorships for people to come to a craft retreat. That's the other idea. More organization for Theresa. I love it. So I've got everything except for I'm still working on this stuff. What I've been doing with these is I'm taking the bottom piece. Let me plug up my glue here. Well, the cat's out of the bag, Carrie. Sandra's here, and I'm sure she's read your comment. Oh, I left the pin out too long. It doesn't want to go back in. Oh, well, heck, bring him with you, Denise. I'll tell you what, if my kids would let me take my grandkids, I'd take them with me. Okay, so this one is going to have this on top. So what color do I want to have underneath? Let's look at my colors. So April, Mama Juju, if you come into this chat or you are watching the replay, I know you said when you bought your kit for Stampin' Up that instead of buying the pads, you bought a bunch of ink spots. So I buy a lot of the ink spots. Usually I would buy them when they came out with the colors, but I bought the empty squares like you talked about in one of your videos. And then I found this case on Amazon and I keep them in here. That lid is coming off of their burn. So, anyways, when I quit doing Stampin' Up, I sold all of my ink pads and kept my ink spots. So let's just do what I got for Christmas color here. I was hoping I had green. Poppy Parade. Ooh, there's what I want. Shaded Spruce. Oh, that is so cool, Denise. I love kids, so I have 6 children, and between all of them, I have 12 grandkids. And the youngest is 9 months now, and then the youngest before her, after her, is 5. Little Ruth. She's in my videos. Kennelly's not in my videos yet. Kennelly was born with some complications, and she is behind on her milestones. So, like, you know, most, 4 months babies start holding their head up or something like that. So that didn't happen for Kennelly until she was like 6 months or something like that. I'm just grabbing numbers out of the air because I really don't remember. Oh, I wonder if you saw that on the screen. This must have gotten plugged and it shot cleaner at an arch up like that. Because I used that alcohol and it went all over my stuff. But that's okay. I use it to clean my craft area. It's really good for eating through glue. And that happened right when you came into the chat, Susan. So now I don't remember if I said hi, but hi, Susan. And I lost my piece. Oh no, this is my piece. So now I need this. This is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to layer that on there. Yep. Thank you, Sandra. I'm glad you're not like me. I'm just sitting in chats, enjoying the conversation, shooting my mouth off, and then somebody will go, oh, don't forget to give so-and-so a thumbs up, and I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot. Okay, thanks for popping in, Carrie. Yeah, so I'm terrible. I don't have much of a memory at all some days. So Carrie obviously has made it from Texas to her home in Louisiana, and going to help her husband get the car unloaded and get settled in. And she went to Texas and she went to the Canton flea market. And if you haven't seen it yet, she did a live yesterday of her at the Canton Flea Market with her daughter, I think it's her daughter, Leslie, and her husband. Okay, so now what I was thinking was to try and find some kind of pretty focal point. Like that. There's a little gold in there, so that's gonna look great. And I want another layer of, yep, I thought I had a little piece of cheesecloth here. Little layer of cheesecloth. Now, do I want to do it like that, or do I want to do it down in here so I can do an eyelet? No, I want to do it like that. Okay. So, yeah. I think Leslie was behind the camera, so we didn't get to see her face. Darn. Oops, gotta take the pin out. I'm gonna be generous with the glue because it's gonna be on this foil paper and on top of the cheesecloth. Hopefully be okay. Just me doing my grunge thing, Denise. It's probably good that I'm a white girl because whenever I see something like this, I go, oh, and you know me, I don't like white. So nobody can ever accuse me of saying something inappropriate because I'm a white girl. So I can say I don't like white. Oh, I want, and I don't like white. That's why I grunge it, coffee diet, all those fun things. I'm just looking at that to see if I've grunged it. Yep, back in Arizona, so you can hear the chickens. They are no respecter of my live streams. Sometimes though, for me, Sandra, it is open mouth, insert foot. And because I'm not a seller, and if people want to subscribe to my channel, or, you know, want to visit my videos, my live streams and stuff, I try to warn them that you know, I don't like risque talk, but politics and religion is open for me to talk about. And if it hurts somebody's feelings, then okay, well, it is what it is. Oh, I know what I was thinking. Yes, ma'am. got to be stained, dyed, whatever. So, or I was thinking, because I try not to get my stuff too chunky, I was thinking that I would reach over here and get some tissue paper. And I have some snowflakes here. This is a napkin, so let's give that a shot. Uh-oh, I've got piles over here. We might have a craft-a-lanch. And so then, let's get the glue stick on here. I know you do, Denise. You like those topics too. So, in fact, I'm a bit of an instigator, really, if I'm going to be honest about it. When things are going on, I will change my profile things to show like what I got right now. Oh, I have a little image that is to show that I support police. I think it's what that one is for. So I'm a bit of an instigator. I'm like, ha, you people who think police should be defunded. I mean, my 5-year-old granddaughter is even sucked in by that rhetoric. Her mother does not like cops. And so she was talking about it one time, and I says, oh, really? I said, bye, Susan. Have a good day making videos. I said to her, well, who are you going to call if somebody's trying to come in and hurt your mommy? The police. I said, oh, yeah? And you don't like them? How does that work? And then I went on to tell her, you know, there's good and bad people everywhere. There's bad grandmas out there, I tell her. There's bad pastors and priests and cops and doctors, but for the most part, I said, I hope we run into good people. So I tried to make her understand the difference, because she just gets the slanted point of view about a lot of things. Of course, Grandma's very opinionated. Oh, really? So if you're about to get killed or robbed or something, we're supposed to call a social worker? Not in my world. Oops, I need this. Yeah, so I don't come on too heavy, because there are times when her mom doesn't, it's not that she necessarily doesn't let me see my granddaughter, but she might not make it possible. Like I planned a going away party at Wahoo's in Boise, in Meridian, before we left, and I paid for it and everything, and invited my grandkids, and I said, if you can't bring her, can I pick Ruth up? And she didn't let it happen, and you know she should have, because I'm going to be gone 6 months in Yuma, and I would like to see my granddaughter. But she doesn't like it when I try to get Ruth around the rest of her cousins, because I really believe that family should grow up. around each other and know each other, because that's what my experience was when I was a kid. And I would have never believed when I was younger and had grandkids that I would spend 6 months out of the year in a different state and not be able to see my family. Nope, she didn't show up. Sorry, I didn't finish my story, did I, Denise? She texted me at the last minute and said that they couldn't make it. I'm like, baloney. Because before, when she was talking, she was like, or if my girls have some event, Ruth will have to go to that. And I'm like, your girls have events all the time. This is a very special thing, and everybody was invited. Her mom knows that I will let her girls come, even though, I mean, it's extra money for me, and I don't always enjoy her girls' company. Her oldest is a gem, but a couple of them are kind of whiny, which is weird because her oldest is just really, really well behaved and mature. Anyways, okay, now I was going to put this on top of here. And then this on top of there. Are those colors going to work? It made me very sad, Denise. And when I hugged the baby, the 9-month-old baby, goodbye at Wahoo's before I left, I had to turn around because I got a little teary-eyed. It's the babies that get me. I just keep staring at that, trying to decide if I like it or not. I think, uh-oh, my battery's running low on my iPad, and if it dies, then we won't have a video anymore. Phew! Got it in time. In fact, I better plug my camera in, too, for that same reason. Okay, it's gonna be shaky. There, now I'm all set. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. I have a bit of a dysfunctional family, and I have no idea why, except for divorce. But my kids were brought up as non-denominational Christians. When my kids were little, I didn't cuss. These are my convictions. Whatever everybody else does with their kids. I didn't drink, and it was a choice. Just like, you know, obeying a husband is a choice. Because he should love me like Christ loved the church. So that makes it easy to take direction from a husband when you think of it that way. You got to read the whole scripture. And I'm going off on a tangent here. Oh, it was nice to see you too, Sandra. Anyways, yep, I have a bit of a dysfunctional family, and I feel like the big reason, you know, because like I said, I thought I did a lot of things right. I homeschooled my children, kept them out of public school, because that was another important thing to me. And that actually initiated because I was bullied in school a lot, and it was very traumatic for me. And I, in no way, shape, or form, wanted my sweet little children to be scared like that and traumatized. Yeah, I think I'm glad that I made the decision to do that. Okay, well, let's see. I'm 1 hour and 41 minutes into this video. I said I was either going to do 2 videos today, or I might do 2 hours with this video. And I'm 15 minutes away from 2 hours, so the more I look at that, the more I like it. I wished I had some gold sari silk. So let's see if I have some gold sari silk. Yeah, their father is a piece of work. So he's an adulterer. It was suggested that he was a pedophile, and of course all of that turned around and shot me in the foot instead of shooting him in the foot. So somebody said once that the children will gravitate towards the bad parent than the good parent because, I don't know, they feel protective of the parent that is making better choices. I don't like to call myself a good parent. I like to say I'm the parent that made better choices. I think that works. Not always. I've not always made good choices, but I try. Forgot I wanted to talk to Sandra. I had an idea. So I'm gonna have to talk. I got her email now because I ordered a couple of your clothespin things, Denise, which I usually don't do. So I won't even like put a number in. If somebody's doing a drawing in a chat, you won't see me put a number in because I really don't want like other people's journals and pre-made ephemera, because I've got tons of my own that I don't even use, and I just don't have the space for it, and I'm probably going to end up sending it in Happy Mail to somebody else. And plus I have a very, very focused in style of what I like to use in my journals. That's kind of cool how that came together. That's almost grungy enough for me. Anyways, yeah, I try not. Plus, I got burned by buying something and it had cat hair on it, and I didn't enjoy that. So I love to gift other people, but I don't usually try to get Happy Mail from people or win things. I mean, I won something from a gal once that it was just absolutely gorgeous, but it was chunkier than I like to use in my journals, and it was art. It was beautiful, but I would never use it, so I sent it out in Happy Mail to somebody that I hope appreciated it. And I just felt so guilty that I know she must have spent hours and hours on those pieces. She sent me 2. And I didn't appreciate them the way that, you know, somebody else who liked that sort of thing would appreciate it, and just made me feel guilty. But it is what it is. I can't change who I am. So I put a number in, and I was like, why did you do that? Because I was afraid if I didn't put a number in, I was afraid she'd notice, and it might make her feel bad or something. I don't know what's going through my head. But, so I was like, oh, everybody else has put their numbers in. I'm not going to win. Sure enough, I won. I was like, phooey. So this is what I was wondering if Sandra would be willing to do. Because I want to save the cost that I'm interested in her commission sales, okay? Because her channel has a lot of notoriety. I was wondering if she would be willing to, like, do a sale together for my journals, and we would live stream together. So she would join me. No, she can't join me because it's got to be on her channel, because my channel doesn't have the exposure that her channel has. So she would have me join her on her live stream, and I would do the flip through of the journal while she's talking. And then if the journal sold, so there would be a link. Let's see, I'm not sure how to do it, but the bottom line is if the journal sold, then she would get her commission, and I would mail the journal out to the person who purchased it. So that way we would save money on sending the postage to send journals. Yeah, and Carrie is really super nice about that sort of thing too. She always says, hey, here's some happy mail for you. She sent me a really nice letter, because she sent me this magazine out of the blue. I was so blessed, because I had been looking for one of these magazines, and she sent me this out of the blue, and she sent me a nice letter that said something along the same lines, Denise, that, hey, I don't want this to be a burden to you. Excuse me. If you don't like this, send it to somebody else, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I was going to wrap this up, and then I started yakking, because we are at 1 hour and 49 minutes. Yeah, I mean, we should both get all the money except for what we have to pay for one time. Well, no, I pass the postage along, but we're not going to pass the postage along for me sending the journal to Sandra, and then Sandra sending the journal to the purchaser. So I'm going to chat with her about that and see if she, excuse me, I don't know if that was a hiccup or a burp, but excuse me anyways. I always laugh at Rachel with Roxy's Creations, because she'll say, oh yeah, I just ate, and blah blah blah. I know, I say the same thing, Denise. Especially if I'm at my computer and I got a keyboard, I can just talk until the cows come home. And I always tell people, sorry, I got a little carried away chatting. But anyways, Rachel will say, oh, I just ate lunch and stuff, and she'll do something, and I never hear it. She'll go, oh, I have hiccups. But it only happened one time. I'm like, I don't think you had hiccups. I think you burped. And it's just embarrassing to tell somebody on live stream that you burped. Okay. I have gone all over the board with different things that I've been talking about today. Thank you for your patience, and I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. And I'm thinking about using some Tim Holtz tissue on this next one. I think that'll appease my grungy heart and get rid of the white that I don't like. Yeah, we'll see what that does. But I hope everybody has a wonderful day and that you get a lot of crafting fun in, and that I will see you again in your next live stream or my next live stream or somebody else's live